Mobile games are such a great opportunity for gamers to take their experiences on the go and play anywhere. There are some amazing mobile games out there, but there also are some that are very hated for good or not so good reasons. Today, I'm going to be taking a look at 5 of the most hated mobile games right now. It's your opportunity to determine whether you think these games are actually trash or if they're just being judged a little bit too harsh. Let's dive in to the top 5. Coming in at number 1, we have Call of Duty Warzone Mobile. Call of Duty making its entrance onto mobile devices for the second time. Everyone was looking forward to this title. I'm talking about literally everyone. But did it actually have a good launch, or were there issues that made people have a lot of hate for the game? Well, if you look at one of the most recent tournaments that was going on from the Call of Duty Mobile Twitch, the thing had only 25 viewers. That tells you that there's not a lot of people that were interested, and that the event that was going on there was a bit of a fail. In addition to that, and maybe more importantly, when the game did launch, there were a lot of issues, connection issues, etc. And people were very unhappy from day one. But a lot of games have these issues on day one. A lot of titles just don't have a clean launch. It's becoming more and more of a norm, unfortunately, in all different spaces: mobile gaming, console gaming, and PC gaming. But what, in my opinion, makes Call of Duty Warzone Mobile a bit more of a fail? And of course, this can change over time with improvements, but I do believe that Warzone Mobile is just more of the same. It doesn't really do anything extremely different than we see in Call of Duty Mobile, PUBG Mobile, or other games alike. In my opinion, it's another rendition of that type of a battle royale game. And in my opinion, which I feel is a very strong one, I would rather play Call of Duty Mobile. It has battle royale and more, tons of different game modes you could play. It's a much more built out game, but maybe the graphics in Warzone are better. Well, I would go ahead and say no, they're not. There's no enhancement in graphics, there's no enhancement in gameplay, and it's just, in my opinion, another battle royale shooter. Next up, of course, is Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends is a turn-based strategy game in a dark fantasy realm, and to be honest with you, it's a game that I actually love. I have a second YouTube channel that features Raid Shadow Legends, and I put videos out for it every single day. So why do I love this game so much if much of the community says that it's not a great game or that it's just a stupid mobile game? Raid Shadow Legends has a ton of depth within. There's tons of different gameplay methods. The graphics are on point. So why does the community hate on it so much? Well, there's a few reasons why. The first reason is there's a big pay-to-win mechanic inside of the game, or at least there's the opportunity to spend a lot of money inside of the game. With that being said, there are a ton of people who actually play absolutely for free and experience everything that the game has to offer, and can even be competitive with players that spend a lot of money. So it shows that the pay mechanic inside of the game is not actually something that's necessary to progress, but more something that's going to give you the convenience so you don't have to put the time into the game to make that same progression, which is something that I'm personally okay with. But much of the community is not. But that is not the only reason why people hate on Raid. People also hate on Raid because of how often this game is advertised. You see all YouTubers everywhere advertising Raid Shadow Legends. So people kind of get sick of seeing them, or they really start to say, is this something that's just a shilled game and it really doesn't have any value? I'll also add here that I do believe that it does have a massive amount of value. And in addition to that, I do feel that part of the success and the deep player base is based off of the advertising. The advertising is always bringing in new players, so that there's a strong and healthy player base inside of Raid Shadow Legends. But still, with that being said, when you name Raid Shadow Legends, many players and many gamers are going to say, oh, that's just a stupid mobile game. I don't agree with this one, and I'm actually going to be leaving the link in the description of this video. If you want to try out Raid and download it for yourself, you can use my link. It'll actually give you a free champion, which is one of the best inside of the game to start with, and essentially the cheat code to your success. I'll throw a QR code in the screen for you again right now as well, in case you want to dive in and take massive advantage. And also, if you want to check out my other channel, it's called Echo Raid Shadow Legends, where I cover the game every single day. But now let's get into the third most hated mobile game. Rise of Kingdoms is up next, and I have to give credit right here to my good friend Chischool Gaming. This is his footage, and he has one of the largest and one of the best Rise of Kingdoms YouTube channels. Now, Rise of Kingdoms is a kingdom builder real-time strategy game, where inside of the game you're building up power, and you're trying your best to be the most powerful in the kingdom so that you can dominate others. It's a game that's very heavy on working with other people in an alliance. This is definitely not a solo title, and you will not see success if you're playing this game alone. But it is a very rewarding and amazing game if you're playing it with a great alliance at your back. But why is this game so hated? Well, like Raid Shadow Legends, it advertises heavily, and you see it all over the place, mostly on Instagram, Facebook, and the like. But in addition to that, the advertisements that we do see for Rise of Kingdoms can be very fake. It's not often actually the gameplay that you experience when you do play the game. So you may download the game and expect one thing, but the experience that you have is quite different. I do believe this is the best kingdom builder on mobile, but it is also very hated by a lot of the community. Not to mention that the more you spend inside of the game, the more power you can attain, which will help you in battle. And it's also worth noting here that any power that you purchase or grow on your own, even if it is free, can be taken away from you with one strike from your opponents. So you have to play with others and you have to play safe. Next on the list, we have Mir 4. This is an MMORPG style game that actually has some really nice graphics and that has done well. It's actually a fun game to play. So why is this one so hated by the community? Well, remember the time of NFTs and Web3 gaming. There are many amazing Web3 projects out there that actually do some great things in the crypto space and implement it into the mobile space, or into the PC gaming space at that. But Mir 4 was a title that tried to dive into this just by adding Web3 styled purchases inside of their game. Ultimately, they were adding NFTs to their game, a game that was already developed and a game that was already in place that had people playing. It also has a lot of mechanics to make purchases inside of the game that people don't actually like. But is Mir 4 a game that is worth your time? Is it something that you can ignore the Web3 options and you don't have to worry about crypto inside of the game? Again, some people love it and others don't. That's up to you and for you to find out if you do try playing this game. I will say that Mir 4 is not a title that I choose to play myself. But a title that I do choose to play myself is Diablo Immortal, and it is the 5th most hated game on today's list. And why is Diablo Immortal so hated by the community? When Diablo Immortal launched, everyone that was at Blizzard's BlizzCon that year was expecting Diablo 4. Instead, they were given the announcement of a mobile game to a bunch of PC gamers that have no interest in mobile games. These players were furious, and this was the first word of Diablo Immortal, and it was definitely a negative one. Starting off on the wrong foot, Diablo Immortal took quite a bit of time to come out, and on that journey, it came to be that it was a very pay-to-win mechanic game. Inside of Diablo Immortal, there are tons of things that you can do to enjoy the game. Many of these things that you can do absolutely for free, and actually everything inside of the game you can do for free. But unfortunately, you can buy power and power mechanics inside of the game, meaning if you want to be one of the best players inside of Diablo Immortal, you will not realistically be able to do this for free. Can you be competitive? Can you enjoy the game? 100%. I do every single day. But if you want to be one of the best, be on the leaderboards and maybe one of the best in PvP, it's going to be very difficult to do, if not impossible, without spending a lot of money on the game. With that being said, there's tons of things you can do in the game and enjoy 100%. PvE experiences, even PvP experiences that strip away that power that can be purchased inside of the game. There's also 7 different classes with an 8th class incoming that you could swap to at any point in time at no fee to you. In my opinion, Diablo Immortal is one of the best mobile games out there and the most and biggest PC experience you could get yourself on mobile. But to many people, they still hold that hatred that Diablo Immortal had gotten for itself upon its initial announcement at BlizzCon years ago. Now, with all of this said, I choose to play Diablo Immortal every single day, and I actually put videos out on another YouTube channel called Echo Gaming Diablo that tells you everything you need to do to see the most success inside of the game as either a spender or as a free-to-play player. If you have interests in action RPGs and want, in my opinion, the best on mobile, this is the one for you. But again, a lot of the community would disagree. Come on over to my channel, Echo Gaming Diablo, and hang out with me as I teach you to make your way through this game. So what do all of you think of the 5 most hated mobile games right now? Do you agree? Do you love or even play some of the games that we discussed here today? I'd love to know your thoughts down below, and if there's any others that you think are even more hated than these, let me know in the comments. And while you're down there, remember to subscribe for another mobile gaming video that'll drop tomorrow.